Zvakambodza kufollowa nyaya yame yamafumi kuti tinyatsoziva kuti chii chakaita, but madetails acho haasati akunyatsobuda. But pana lawyer wandataura naye ari based kuZimbabwe, ati kungonzwa kwaari kuita hanzi inyaya yekanzi abuse of office, criminal abuse of office. Ndo yaari kunzizo ndo yabatirwa, ende zvinenge zviri kunzi zviri kuinvolva mastands here hanzi Mount Pleasant Heights. There's a new place iriko kuMount Pleasant inonzi Mount Pleasant Heights. Saka zvinenge zviri kunzi izvo zviri kuinvolva mastands ikoko here, ameno the allocation, because those stands were being allocated by the council. So vari kunzi izvo ndo kune nyaya yacho ikoko, but we are wait to find out kuti izvo zvakamira sei. But ndo tuma karunyere kupe kari kungobuda kuti nenge inyaya yechichi, inyaya nenge yemastands yati yaattracta kuti izvo vaende. Saka pandanzi vanga hanzi he was kuCentral here, and is likely to appear mukoti mangwana, but asungwa nezege ka, saka anenge ari mukoti number 14 mangwana. But I think by tomorrow we should know more about the circumstances dzaita kuti vasungwe. Ndaona vamwe vari kuti maprophecies akuita fulfilled. Hai ipapo ina handizoziva. Ndaona vamwe vari ndizvo prophecies that are being fulfilled. Hai ipapo handizoziva zvangu. Yeah, but that's the story in Baramori. That's the story Ramafumi. I'm not sure now kuti izvo zvakamira 1-1 exactly, but when I spoke to this lawyer, he was just saying kuti semanzwiro acho avari kuitawo ari kuti inyaya criminal abuse of office idzo. And hanzi zvacho zvakatanga, these hanzi they date back to time yaakapinda achireplace Mnangagwa bye. Those is nyaya dzacho dzinoita date back, there. So I'm not yet clued on the exact circumstances kuti izvo chaicha nyaya yacho ndeye, but munhu wandanga ndichikotaura naye anga achingondiudzawo izvozvo zvinenge zvaandiudza. Right. So today, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming through. If you can repost this, it will be very much appreciated. But what we want to do today, there's an image that has gone viral, and that image, I'm quite sure most of you have seen it. I've posted it on my timeline. Is an image yakanzi President Mnangagwa improves ZANU-PF workers' salaries. So the lowest paid is near US $700 a month, and then senior officials, they're commanding, that is the political members, they're commanding $3,500 a month. So the adjustments that have been made been between 50% and 300% increase. You're right. So this has generated, debate on social media, and I know when they are doing a back and forth Newamwe, trying to defend, this position. But I want to look at it from this perspective. Yakuti Nsaganati heading and I say kuti party pay versus the public paying, who deserves economic dignity in Zimbabwe. I'll qualify this. I'll explain why I've decided to go with this. So as I just read, ZANU-PF is an organization. It's a political party, private organization, but it is the ruling party, right? So according to that, they've done their internal um, review of salaries of their cadres, and a decision was made to adjust or to make these internal salary increases. I'm not sure what informed or what is informing those, what informed that decision. But if what according to that image that has gone viral and which has steered intense debate, we are being told that the lowly paid is $700 and the highest paid will be $3,500 per month, and this is an adjustment that is up to 300%. So if you see the engagement that was going on, I summarized it as people asking who deserves economic dignity in Zimbabwe. I'm not saying that ZANU-PF members are not Zimbabweans. They are equally Zimbabweans. But that question is arising. Okay, for us to understand why that question is arising, we need to contextualize this. Let's ground this into context, right? And the only way that we can ground this into context is for us to then look at the economic realities that are affecting our nation called Zimbabwe. We have been told that we are a nation that is on the up and up in terms of economic recovery. We are being told that our GDP uh, uh, this year is going to be about 52 billion. Our economy is going to rise by 6.6% if that figure is still accurate. But the reality on the ground is none of this is being felt, or if it is being felt, it's been at a slow pace, especially when it comes to the ordinary people, the ordinary Zimbabweans. When we look at civil servants, um, they are coming from a situation where some of them have faced delays in their bonuses, some of them are on low wages, and some of them even tried to go on strike to demand higher wages, better working conditions, but that did not help. Their situation remained, the same. But on the other hand, we are looking at being told that the president, in addition to ZANU-PF doing what it is doing as a political party to its members, because we need not forget that to its members receiving Ford Rangers, GD6s, salary hikes now, etc, etc. Then, with everything that I've spoken about, being told that the economy is growing, we are going to hit 6.6, which is being touted as the biggest in Africa. Um, a question then arises. So we've got this, we are being told this, that this is what is happening. And then we come to find out, if you remember last year, the lecturers, the teachers, etc., they were on a strike that went on for days, I think for weeks or even months. If I don't know exactly how many, because they needed an adjustment from their poultry 250 or 270 US dollars that they were being paid, or that they are being paid. So when you're looking at all this, a question that then arises is there evidence, does the party pay the adjustments within ZANU-PF? We want to take it into the broader context. Does it amount, or is it representative of the economic progress that we are being told is happening in Zimbabwe, or it is just a party that is awarding its loyalists on the basis of being elites, or the elite rewards to loyalists? Because, remember, this is not every ZANU-PF member was going, but workers, or those that are characterized as workers. So I would then put another question to the people of Zimbabwe. Given everything that you're hearing about the economy, improving, etc., etc., if you're civil servants, does your lived experience in Zimbabwe, in the economy of Zimbabwe, right now, does it tell this story? And when you see these hikes happening in this organization, and the president of the country, who is the leader of this organization, being said to have approved, these, can you really say whatever it is that has happened here is justified vis-a-vis the conditions that you're experiencing in this economy, right now? Because I think that is fundamental to understand, to get to a point of making, this comparison here. That you, as an individual, with your lived experience in Zimbabwe, right now, when you're looking at this, if you're a teacher, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a civil servant, when you look at this, do you think that this is justified? The economic activity that is happening in Zimbabwe, that you get told that, we cannot afford. You get told that we cannot afford to give a salary hike. Does this justify? These are questions, that I'm just putting, out there. And also, another question, that, we need to be pondering on is something to do with what I want to call the ethics of prioritization. Because if you look at on social media, right now, I see Vanamuku, Vana Snowball, and other people who are defending, this position. And their argument point, the one that they're putting across, is to say these guys, they work so hard and they deserve a fair pay. But if there is this recognition that these guys work so hard for the party, so that so that the party can do its programs as the ruling party, these guys, they deserve a fair pay. That is the argument. What then do we say about the nurses, the teachers, the doctors, who are frontline workers, who defend the nation's health, or who defend the people's health against any threat to their health? When you see them struggling, when you see them, I remember I was seeing, a video of a nurse who was saying, me as a nurse, I am earning 45,000 Zig money. But that 45,000, I need to buy this, I need to buy this, I need to buy this. If I convert this into US dollars, the money that I'm getting is not even enough to buy what I need, to buy not to buy for my just personal, but for me to buy to make myself be in a position to come to work and be out there on the front line. So if you want to look at at the ethics of prioritization here, yes, they are arguing that, oh yes, these are ZANU-PF cadres, hardworking, they are right there pushing the party program. So in that vein, they need to be paid so that they can deliver on whatever it is that they need to deliver. Can we say the same thing? Do you think it's ethical as well to let the nurses and the teachers to struggle? So it is a point that because that is what most people have been zeroing in on. If we explore that, probably we can get to a point of having a fair step, at this. Because I think that is the conversation that is out there. That is the dominant conversation that is out there, and we need to be speaking, to that. Is it justified? If it is justified, it's saying that, because these guys, or they're hardworking. I saw even, my young brother in Ngibaba Shona. I thought, oh, Jesus, ZANU-PF is a, is a private organization, and it gets money from its members who are subscribers, so they can do literally what they want. If they want to pay their people that much, then it has got nothing to do with the whole country. If the country wants to pay its people, or if the government wants to pay its civil servants, then the government must ensure that there's enough revenue that is generated for it to be paying in order to make adjustment to the monies that goes to the civil servants. But on this one here, this one has got nothing to do with anyone. It's something that is happening internally in a political party with volunteers is members of volunteers who make subscriptions, who pay subscriptions, and with those subscriptions they can do whatever it is that they want with their money, and it shouldn't be a bother to anyone else. So this thing of trying to equate or make comparisons to say kuti maticha manesi has kubhadarwa, it's neither here nor there. It doesn't exist, because that is the government's thing to deal with. It is not a ZANU-PF thing to deal with. ZANU-PF is making its own money. The government must make its own money and make sure that it pays handsomely the civil servants. So we've got different arguments, that are out there. So the question is, within a fragile economy of ours, I can give you an example. Yakuti, there are some nations whereby they've got a minimum wage. Kuti, every labor that is traded by an individual per hour, it has to be paid, so much. Yes, of course, there are other arrangements that then gets done, but there's a minimum threshold or a minimum wage that an individual is entitled to. And then other factors like length of service, or depending on your qualifications, you don't necessarily get in there on the minimum wage. You then get something on top of the minimum wage. But by law, there is a requirement of that minimum wage. So I would then look at this and say, when we are looking at the aspect of salaries in Zimbabwe, of wages in Zimbabwe, what is it that guides the salary decision making? in an economy like ours, which some can argue that it is still a fragile, economy, what should guide salary decision making within such an economy like what we have, now? So when I'm looking at this image, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't just inform us of this salary change or this adjustment in ZANU-PF, but it has provoked something. It has provoked a conversation. It has made people to debate on aspects of power, transparency, fairness, you name it. You might, but when you are looking at this, you as a citizen, when you saw that, and you engaged yourself in deeper thinking, that moment alone, when you're reflecting on this, when you're thinking about this, what did it reveal to you in terms of our ability as a people to hold our leaders, accountable?